I appreciate it so much. Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate that more than I can tell you. That is the right attitude. We're still going to have fun. Okay, you know what? We had it. Please.
You guys are seeing it right here live first. This is exclusive coverage of Bill Maher's first reaction of Donald Trump winning the election. And I've actually been waiting to see this because that's the person I thought about the most, because if y'all have seen the clips of Bill Maher the past 3 years, he didn't concede. He tried to take over the government. And, you know, and it was like, I remember thinking like, if that man wins, I don't know what Bill Maher is going to do. So let's go ahead, without further ado, let's go ahead and see what Bill Maher has to say. Please, guys, also don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe button and the notification bell. Thank you to every eye that lands on this video. All right?
Please, we had an election. A lot of you can sit down. That's how upset this guy is. He's not going to sit again. A lot of people are freaking. You know what? I opened the window today. The sun was still shining. The birds were still singing. My gardener was packing for Mexico. That's different. Well, you know. Hey. I did not vote for the winner. We'll see what the winners do now. They won. Now they have reality they have to deal with. You know, we'll see what they do. See if they live up to their word. Trump says he's going to deport 12 million people. How are you going to get 12 million people back into Mexico? And today Trump said, I'm way ahead of you. Why do you think I left so many holes in the wall? Yeah, so.
Cute jokes. We're going to look at a couple more of these jokes and check the panel out, too.
Well, look. You know what? We're going to hear about both tonight on the panel and throughout the whole show, the winners, the losers. My message to the losers, look in the mirror. No? Well, maybe you should. Sorry. Well, that's my feeling. Losers look in the mirror, okay? You know, I mean, for months, Democrats have been saying, how is this even close? And they're right, it wasn't. They could not conceive of a second Trump term, but they should have. When does America ever turn down seconds? I mean, come on. Look, these are just the facts. This is the facts. Trump won all the swing states, all 7. I mean, he ran the table. Trump won so big. Today he called the Secretary of State in Georgia, and he asked him to lose him $11,000.
That's actually hilarious. But, like, yeah, he really did win all the swing states. Like, that's crazy. Like, you know why? It's just like, no hiccup in the name of God. Thank you, Jesus, right? And, like, and the reason I'm saying thank you, Jesus, too, because, like, you know, in reality, you guys know that I have my misgivings about, there's just a lot. But I don't want the American people every election to have to go through all of this. Yo, man, do you remember 2020? It just never, I feel like for 2 years, we never stopped talking about it, right? But for 2 years, it was really like a hard pill to, like, not to swallow, but like, it really was PTSD, because then the next time we had elections again, people could not accept the fact that Glenn Youngkin won Virginia because we were waiting for something to happen. And there was one woman on Twitter who pointed it out, like, look what they did to us. We have total PTSD. We have elections PTSD. Insane.
Is back with us. Good to have you back. She's the senior editor of The Dispatch and host of The Dispatch's legal podcast, Advisory Opinion. Sarah Isgur, back with us. John, first of all, seems like every time you're here, we do you dirty. It's hard to follow Michael Douglas. You were here when you had to follow Howard Stern. We put you on ones with Russell Brand. It was not intentional. We love you. I'm so glad you're back. Thank you. I don't know why you always draw the short straw.
You know, those are all but one of those people are people I respect and admire. So there you go.
Okay. All right, so programming note, we have 2 more shows. Now, this is important to what we're going to talk about tonight, because I want to address the winners, and then I want to address the losers. There's only winners and losers in elections. We have 2 more shows. Normally, this would be our last show, but we thought, well, we should stay on because it'll be a shit show after this, because there'll be all sorts of lawsuits and the country will be in flames, which I think, let's not bury the lead. The most important thing to say about this election is the reason why we're sitting here so peacefully now is because the one party that still believes in conceding elections lost.
So we're still coping. There's still a hope here, of course, of we concede beautifully, you know? There's still a hope of we did this the right way. Like, come on, Bill. Like, that's not what it is. I'm not going to go back to what happened in 2020. I'm not going to go back. I'm not.
If the other guy had won, it would be a shit show now. Let's not pass over that. And I also just want to say to my friends on the right, I said it to them last week. I said it to them personally, because they all have the same idea about Trump. He says a lot of shit. Okay, now you won. We'll see if your he just says shit doctrine is real or it's not. But just stop. You won. So you can afford to be magnanimous now, my right-wing friends, and understand that, you know, when we're worried about fascism, it's because he talks like a fascist. We're not plucking it from thin air. Okay. That's my message to the right. You say what?
Well, I mean, to your first point, Trump was out for days, including on Election Day, saying that there were problems in Pennsylvania. So he ended up winning Pennsylvania by 2 points. All of a sudden, all of the problem with the election that he was going to say, this is illegitimate, it's fixed, it's rigged, they all just kind of vanished into thin air. To your point, yeah. Kamala Harris and Joe Biden have both came out promptly.
Okay, this part is boring. Like, I'm not even going to do this with this guy because he's like, oh, you know, he's like, oh, he said there was problems and all of a sudden they went away. Okay, anybody would look. The man has PTSD. You know, imagine you like, yo, they took this from me. It's not like they took your genes, yo. Like, he took a whole. Okay, so please, we all had PTSD, and I know there were people on the left who had PTSD too. They probably were like, I don't even want to look at it because this is just going to be too much, right? Even people who voted for Kamala, all right? So, like, don't act like this is. We should not have one citizen who doesn't think that elections work.
Lose. And those are not necessarily the same thing. We saw the party in power in every Western democracy so far lose support. And look, as a
like
former,
in the last year, you mean?
Yeah, and as a former operative, if you want to know if your campaign strategy worked, your campaign strategy was to pick up this group and this group. So you want to see rises with them, but then you shouldn't see a rise in groups that you weren't aiming for. Donald Trump increased his vote with everyone, which means it wasn't his campaign strategy. I think it was that the American people they voted for Joe Biden because they were promised normalcy and competency, and they didn't get either. And the most effective ad that Donald Trump ran was the they-them ad. You know, he's for you, she's for they-them. Democrats thought that was an ad about, you know, transphobia. They missed the point entirely. It was an ad about language, that these people are more obsessed with whether you have a signature block in your email with your pronouns in it than they are about getting the economy back on track. And so that was just roundly rejected.
Well, honestly, they did get the economy back on track. That's not.
People don't feel that way.
It's bullshit that he wanted Liz Cheney shot in the face, and it's bullshit that they didn't get the economy. Let's call bullshit wherever it is tonight, shall we?
So what about the $7 butter? Like, I don't even want to hear them clap about that, right? Like, what about the $7 butter? Like, what do these people not go to I guess they don't go to the market. They don't know. They must dag. I can't wait to get to a point in my life where I don't know how much anything costs. It just shows up at my door, I guess. But I would still want to know because I'm reporting on it, right? You all are still, so there's no self-awareness at all. There's no self-awareness at all. Like that was just like pointless to say something like that. Like they did get the economy back. No, they didn't. They played with numbers. Y'all, you cannot talk about these things if you don't know how it works.
about it. I'm just not, because that is deranged.
Not asking
That's
you-
who he is.
Sure. Not asking you to do that. But as you just said, you're worried about whether he's actually a fascist. And you're worried about, I think worried
Yes.
about, to me, those are illustrations of the deeper thing. You point to those examples in the context of a campaign and you say, a guy who's talking about, I'd like to use the military against my political opponents.
Okay,
These are all examples.
I'm
in any
not
case,
for that.
In any case, but
Yeah.
Bill, I disagree with Sarah about this. I think that the reality is that under the circumstances, what we've seen from Donald Trump over the course of the last 4 years, a guy who I think we all agree, did try to overturn a free and fair election in 2020, right? Incited
Totally.
a mob on the Capitol.
Still hasn't conceded.
Is talking about and says he's going to follow through on trying to deport 20 million illegal immigrants who are living in this country, that largest mass deportation he claims in history, right? Has said all the stuff he said. He performed better in this election for whatever set of reasons. Partly, I think it's a factor of like what he says.
Partly
that people
because
identify
you
with.
won't talk about the other side, the people
Well-
who should be looking in the mirror, the subject I'm trying to get to. We know who Trump is.
Well, this is
and
what
we
I was
agree
trying to
on
make.
him.
Sarah says it's basically.
And that's the point, right? And we could even end it here because this guy still, I don't know why he won. What you just said, what is it that doesn't connect? Like, I don't understand these people. So it's like, he's like, oh, this guy, he's running on deporting 20 million illegal immigrants. First of all, did you hear that number? We've never had this. I'm not even going to say under Trump. Under Obama, 20 million illegals came here in 4 years. I finally stopped reporting on the border because I was like, this is actually going to do something to my psyche. Like, I'm actually starting to get scared. Okay? And this guy says that Trump wants to do a mass deportation, right? And he says it like it's a bad thing. He says it like, look what he's running on. Yeah, people are going to be like, Trump, get these people out of here. Nobody likes that. Nobody likes that. Black people, especially like in Chicago, they were going off about it. Remember? They get all the benefits and everything. Nobody likes it. Nobody likes it. The jig is up. They went too far. They took in way too many people. New York is a mess. People on the streets, everything. Texas, everything. No. So, yeah, like Bill says, you still don't want, y'all are still not looking in the mirror. Y'all are still not looking, you still can't get it. Well, that's on you then. That's why you're a loser. I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye.